Helsinki, Finland. Hi, I'm Lori, a senior solo traveler, and I recently spent a little over a day in Helsinki. However, this was not one of my solo trips. I met up with some Finnish friends and they spent a day showing me around. I asked them to take me to places they thought I should see so that I could get an idea of what they love about the city. We walked for the first half of the day and drove for the second half. There were 5 main districts we visited, each with several sites. Compared to other European cities, Helsinki is a newer city, with the oldest buildings built in the 1700s, so you will see some historic buildings next to some ultra-modern ones. So here we go, but first let me apologize for not tackling the Finnish names. I'll use subtitles rather than slaughtering their beautiful language. Number 1, Kluuvi district. We started out by this park and bay. It was unusually sunny and warm that day, so there were many people out enjoying the gorgeous weather. We passed by Finlandia Hall and some lovely parks, and eventually arrived at a beautiful architectural structure, Udi, the Central Library. It is a beautiful, striking, ultra-modern library with 3 floors of books, free workstations, a cafe, and even 3D printers and sewing stations. It is certainly a community hub, but it is also a masterpiece of a building. There is a wonderful terrace where you can step outside and see the surrounding buildings and grounds. If you are as fascinated with architecture as I am, you will love this building, which is a great place to just hang out. Close by is the Museum of Contemporary Art, which is another masterpiece of architecture. There is a memorable fountain of weeping women and children, and nearby an important memorial to Mannerheim, who was a prominent and beloved Finnish military leader, statesman, and the 6th president of Finland. Evidently, it was a bit controversial to erect such a modern building next to this historic monument. Personally, I thought the building highlighted the statue. Number 2, Market Square and Harbor. We eventually arrived at Market Square, one of the main draws for tourists visiting the town. Central to the square is the Havas Amanda Fountain. It is an iconic landmark that was erected in 1908. It's a popular spot for tourists and locals, symbolizing Helsinki's connection to the sea. However, my friends told me that when there are Helsinki football games, they have to cover it up so that the drunken fans don't climb on the woman. Too funny. It was time for lunch, so my friends led me to this gorgeous building. Inside were numerous little shops and cafes. We ate at a restaurant called Story. Our goal was to have the traditional salmon soup, and it was really good, light and very tasty. After lunch, we walked through some of the outdoor merchandise and food stalls erected by the water's edge. Here you can purchase some fresh produce, traditional Finnish food, and souvenirs. Across the harbor was a public swimming pool that seemed to be very popular on this warm summer day. Number 3, Senate Square. Senate Square was conceived by the architect Carl Ludwig Engel. His vision was to have the political, religious, scientific, and commercial powers all in the center of Helsinki. The square and the surrounding landmark buildings make up the oldest part of central Helsinki. The buildings include the Helsinki Cathedral, the Government Palace, the University of Helsinki, and the Cederholm House, which is the oldest building in central Helsinki. In the center of the massive plaza is a monument to Alexander II. There are a large bank of steps leading up to the cathedral, which was currently under construction, but normally looks like this. Close by was the University of Helsinki National Library. I would recommend everyone take a peek. It is striking when you first walk in, but if you walk farther, you will see floor after floor of books in a circular tower. So cool. After leaving the Senate Square, we picked up the car. Number 4, Töölö district. Our first stop in the car was by the Olympic Stadium. It was the center of activities for the 1952 Summer Olympics. We got out of the car there and walked through the Sibelius Park. It is a lovely, unmanicured park with beautiful trees and walking paths. Our destination was the Sibelius Monument, a tribute to the famous Finnish composer Jan Sibelius. The Finnish artist that designed it wanted the monument to be a visual expression of the way Sibelius's music depicts nature. I just love the sculpture, which looked different from all angles. The vertical columns looked like organ pipes to me, but also had so many other details and layers. Definitely recommended viewing. Not too far from the monument is the Rock Church. This is the official name. My friends told me the architects designed it so that it was built using the rocks. I didn't know what to expect, so was surprised when I walked into this large and inspiring building. It really took my breath away. By excavating and building the interior directly out of solid rock, there is a natural beauty to the inside. The altar is especially impressive with its rock facade. The skylights also bring in natural light. Evidently, the church is used frequently as a concert venue because it has excellent acoustics created by the rough rock surfaces. I've been to hundreds of cathedrals during my travels, but I have to say I found this church to be one of the most beautiful because of its natural beauty. Number 5, Fortress of Suomenlinna. One of the biggest tourist draws is this fortress, which was built on a group of islands in the second half of the 18th century by Sweden. My friends made the smart decision to go there in the early evening when the summer crowds had thinned out. The fortress is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is an example of the military architecture of that time. Currently, there are artists that live on the island where they have workspaces. The entire setting is very photographic. The sun was starting to set, so the water sparkled in the lowering sun. We found a restaurant to have dinner there and sat outside enjoying the surroundings. It was a great way to finish a long day of sightseeing. I'd highly recommend going there for sunset, keeping in mind the long twilights in Scandinavia. So those are the 5 districts we visited, which were full of fascinating history, beautiful architecture, and lovely harbor views. There were a couple other places we visited that I haven't mentioned. However, if you have time, you might want to include them. One is Kamppi, an urban shopping center. It had a very playful outdoor space, which is actually the rooftop to the Amos Rex Art Museum. Next to it was the Kamppi Chapel, which is a totally quiet zone. The architecture was so fascinating that I paid a small fee to enter. You were not allowed to take pictures on the inside or talk. It is a beautiful space that truly shields all sounds from the outside. I thought it was quite special. Both before and after our visit to the island, we wandered along the shore in both these 2 areas. We had ice cream as we sat by the harbor here, and took an evening stroll along the shores here, where there were pretty views of the nearby islands. In terms of transportation, as I said, we walked and took a car, but there is great public transportation as well as bike rentals. The places I traveled in Helsinki were very safe, and the walking didn't include much elevation. Helsinki is certainly a friendly destination for both senior and solo travelers. As always, if you have questions, feel free to ask in the comments section. And if you've been to Helsinki and can add to the discussion, please share your experiences. We'd love to hear from you. Check out the Senior Solo Travel website, where all my videos are laid out in an easy-to-access format, and the Travel Facebook forum, where you can interact with other travelers. I have left links to those sites, as well as others from the Scandinavian and Baltic Trip, in the description below. And if you'd like to follow my senior and solo travel journeys, please like and subscribe. Next stop, Tallinn, Estonia.